Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play, where we're going to dive into Elite Zoo North with a lot to do today. So let's go ahead and resume. As I tell you as always, folks, that if you've been enjoying this series and you'd like to see it continue, please do not hesitate to let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. This is the last episode in February. We are diving on into March with great gusto, so I'm super excited. I just want to mention, actually, very early on, that on the 8th of March, Canada enters daylight savings time, and I know it's different in different parts of the world, so just a heads up, I'll still be releasing at 12 a.m., so midnight EST, but that might be a different time based on if you're in daylight savings or not. So I just want to mention that nice and early, so y'all have a bit of a heads up. But yeah, as always, folks, if you'd like to see this series continue into March and beyond, make sure you let me know. Leave those likes and comments. And like I say always, I do enjoy reading through your comments as well. And in fact, I got so many comments with regards to my queries and questions and thoughts about the workshop we're building over here. It seems like the sun has dipped below the horizon or something, or it's just about to. It's really gloomy right now. So we're going to we're going to bring the sun back for a time lapse right off the bat. We've got a lot to get done today. I'm going to try and get a lot done today. Try and make it an extra special episode to cap the month off. So hang tight, and let's immediately dive into our first time lapse. All right, folks, I can confirm that this is the first of two time lapses today, and my oh my, was this a long session to record. So I apologize if I sound a little tired during this time lapse. I've just been recording for 3 hours and 13 minutes straight. And it's funny to see how 3 hours and 13 minutes gets shortened down to 1 hour after the time lapses are done, but I guess that's how time works. Just wanted to share. I always find it interesting to share, time frames and stuff, so people can get an understanding of how long some of the stuff takes if they want to pursue it themselves. And actually, on the topic of pursuing it yourselves, I've seen many of you mention that you're interested in purchasing Planet Zoo, or might be picking it up soon, or whatever it might be. Just wanted to mention, I rarely make a big deal of this, but if you're interested in picking the game up and you haven't picked it up yet, there is a link in the description of every episode of this series. It is a Humble Bundle link. It is an affiliate link, which means if you purchase through that link, not only do you get it at the same price as available on Steam, so it's it's not like a special sale or anything like that, but the money will support charity, and it also supports the channel. So I've got that down there if you are interested in supporting the channel in that way. And I will say, doing something like spending 3 hours on an hour episode is something that is viable because of all the support I receive from all of you. So again, as always, a big shout out to all of you, who've been watching along, channel members and patrons as well, for really supporting it and making sure that this, having your voice heard, basically, that you're really interested in Planet Zoo and you want to see more. It makes a very big difference. I'm just rambling over here as we get set up with putting some snow underneath the Santa's workshop. So Santa's workshop gets a lot of work today, and I'm really happy with how it ends up. I do not complete it today. I'll explain why when we get there. It's primarily because I didn't want to get bogged down, but again, like I said, I'll explain that when we get there. Wow, I just realized there's something I wanted to do this episode that I completely forgot to do because it's fine. So we've got I'm piling a bunch of snow down here to build that kind of winter wonderland look and feel. I also want to add many of your suggestions that I saw in the comments. Some are a little bit harder to execute than others. Some I think wouldn't be possible. Like I saw, like nutcrackers, for example. I really want to figure out if that's doable, but with the pieces we have, I don't think it's possible. So I'm gonna have to experiment a bit more. And that's there was that. There were I want to get some stockings in. I want to get a fireplace and a chimney. There's a lot to do, and I love it. I want to thank y'all again for your suggestions, because it's great. I love seeing your thoughts and your opinions, and I like trying to implement them and seeing what we can do. It becomes like a personal challenge for me sometimes, in a good way, like a positive kind of challenge. But one thing for sure that we were going to do was get some candy canes down, and now unfortunately couldn't get diagonal stripes on the candy canes. But you pick your battles, right? We could though do stripes using those cylindrical pieces and the curved pieces that you can see, and I'm really happy with how that looks. Like immediately started this time lapse. Well, okay, didn't start this time lapse. That was a fair bit of time spent putting snow down, but the first potential roadblock of this time lapse goes really smoothly. And I'm happy with how those candy canes look, and those aren't the only we're putting down. Obviously, we're gonna put down a bunch more, but I wanted to get some more snow down as well around the station over here. Get some snow creeping on the sides of it, so it feels like snow is kind of collected on the support beams and things like that. But I also want to get some of the snow piling on top of these candy canes. Again, I want it to feel like it's a land where it constantly snows and where it constantly snows a lot. So unless it gets plowed or falls off, otherwise it's going to kind of sit there. I also wanted to get these little clumps next to the bases of the candy cane, so it looks like, there's actually some buildup, some accumulation from when stuff gets shoveled over there. And as you can see, I'm also adjusting the angle of the candy canes every once in a while to give it a bit more of a whimsical feel, right? It's funny how the words change. One could call it haphazard, but because it's, Santa Claus and candy canes and Christmas, we're not calling it haphazard, we're calling it whimsical. The power of language. But yeah, I'm actually happy with the kind of like archways, gateways that these candy canes create. Really happy with it. I decided to build it on the other side as well. I'm really annoyed that the flooring at the workshop is tied to the staircase over here, because that staircase is completely useless. It doesn't need to exist. It only exists because I cannot get rid of it without leaving a hideous piece behind. And if I try to get that hideous piece out, it takes the entire flooring in the workshop with it. So I'm stuck with it. It's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it pretty eventually. But yeah, so those are the candy canes done. I also wanted to see if I could extend the tree somehow. Many of you suggested, oh, it'd be cool if the tree was bigger. I totally agree, but I couldn't find a nice way to lock it up to make it bigger. Another thing that was suggested is that the sandstone doesn't really fit the bill, and I agree there as well. So I started playing around with some of the Arctic Viking pieces, Norse pieces. A lot happier with that gray kind of sculpture. It looks like it's wolves, I guess. Happy with how that looks. Experimenting with some more stuff. I end up not keeping this element, I don't think. Yeah, I decided to get rid of that. Feels a little kind of dirty. Though I should change the color of the hands as well. Now this, I'm adding these reindeers because, so there was a great suggestion. It was very adorable. I thought the suggestion was that if we could build little like people or something and have little carolers. So, they sing Christmas carols around the Christmas tree, blah, 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 blah. I was like, that's a great idea. To make it work in this world of whimsy and whatnot, and so that we could actually build it rather than, not, because there are no pieces to build people. I decided, well, those little reindeer things are, they're little, what's the word? Like mechanisms, I guess, that, rock back and forth and sing the Christmas carols. Maybe a little terrifying if you're a kid, I don't know, but it's headcanon, right? In my head, these aren't just little, like twine wrapped, scarf wrapped dolls. They have some mechanics in them as well, and they, sing songs, so to speak, around the tree when it's Christmas time, not year round, maybe year round, I don't know. So yeah, that was the thinking over there, and this is me building a throne for Santa Claus. If you're gonna come see Santa, you gotta sit in his lap, right? Gotta sit in his lap, gotta ask him, or gotta tell him what you want for Christmas, all that jazz. That's what really matters, to be honest, right? That's why we celebrate Christmas, right? I say we. That's why some celebrate Christmas. But my thoughts on Christmas aside, I really like how the chairs come out as well. I like the Christmas tree backing to it. I think it's kind of cheeky, kind of funny. We have 6 reindeer sculptures. I should get more reindeers out there, shouldn't I? To make it a bit more fitting for Santa Claus. But nonetheless, done with that. I believe I looked up some references here and there just to see, what do I tackle next? I can't actually remember for the life of me what I tackle next. Might be the Christmas tree. Oh yeah, I tried putting this up top, which was another suggestion that I got. Unfortunately, there aren't that many options for wreaths and hollies and stuff like that, and I'm actually surprised, if I'm completely honest. Oh, you know what? I didn't check if stockings are an option available in the Arctic DLC. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing them, but maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, over here you can see I'm decorating this tree, this wooden tree of ours. It is something that I will pursue more later. I want to switch to to do the decoration, sorry, but I don't want to switch tonight right now. That was me contemplating, do I want to do this? No, instead I want to go inside and build on another fantastic idea from the comments. A few of you suggested this, and I immediately, without hesitation, I was like, yes, I'm going to figure out how to do this. I don't care if it takes me years. And yeah, we're just using those plaster pieces. Makes sense. This is architecture after all. So we're just using the plaster pieces to build, again, kind of whimsical, goofy looking gift boxes. And it was funny, actually, one of you commented saying, well, yeah, when I think of Christmas, the colors I think of are like reds and golds. And that's great because that's the channel's colors. And that's why the gift boxes outside in Santa's sleigh are red and gold. And so I figured, you know what? Red and gold it shall be. I'm perfectly fine with red and gold. I love the color combination. Red and green is also, typically the Christmas colors, but they work okay together, but not in a great quantity. Green is also not my favoritist of colors. Some greens I like. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. Getting this built was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad to see it actually work out. And we obviously don't stop at just the box itself. It's not a gift if it's just a box. It's only a gift when you actually have a bow on it. So we go ahead and build the wrapping, like the actual ribbon, I guess, that goes around. Again, still using those plaster pieces. They're pretty versatile. Again, I wish scaling was an option. If I could scale these pieces, then we could do a lot more work with them. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the work. Not much to describe over here. Not much to talk about, unfortunately, but really excited with how this turns out. It was a bit of a challenge getting some of those angles to work out, and I knew it would be, but what matters is like it looks close enough from like actual viewing angles, I would say. I try to be as detailed as possible, obviously, but got to make sure it looks right. And look at that bow. I love it. I think it looks, personally, I think it looks great. I don't know what y'all think, as always, but personally, I'm really happy with that. And then, of course, we duplicate, rotate, and don't want it to look like the same thing, obviously, because that feels a little shortcutty. So instead, we decide to go in and swap colors. So red and yellow and red, stick to the same color scheme because that way it looks nicer. And look at that. I really like how that looks. Both boxes, when you see them next to each other, they work really nicely together. When you look at it from top down or even from ground up, like an actual patron might, it looks really good. I'm really happy with how this has come together. And now it's time for this lonely store over here with a solar panel behind it. A solar panel which I do have to consider when it comes time to building the roof and whatnot, but that's a conversation for a little bit later. For now, building a smaller gift box for this one. Again, variety is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of decoration as well. And I thought it made sense to have a couple different sizes. We're going to get some ribbons around this one as well. This is me, I think, again, contemplating or ruminating upon the color schemes and whatnot. Do I want to introduce more colors? How do I want to do this? Ultimately, I stick with a red, yellow, red. It's good. Variety is the spice of life, but so too is simplicity. How's that for paradox, right? But yeah, get a different kind of ribbon up there, and look from the top down. I really like how that looks. It kind of makes me want to not put a roof on this thing, if I'm completely honest. Unfortunately, I do begin the roofing project, so if the ultimate decision, the ultimate vote is no, get rid of the roof, then I just have to undo some work. Not that I would mind, if I'm completely honest, and again, I'll explain why in just a moment's time. But yeah, wrapping these toilets up as well, just because why not? It's a different shape. I think what really makes this work is the different shapes of gift boxes. If they were all the same shape, if they were all just little cubes, I don't think it would work. Anyway, last step for the interior, I think this is. I build the little seating arrangement, so you almost have like a king's procession walking up to Santa. Rather than standing in line, you can sit in line. I just feel like that, it's a nicer thing to do. Oh, right, no, here's the last thing we do. I actually put down another store, and I'll explain why I go out of my way to add a new store in after the time lapse. Totally worth it, though. But it is a merchandise shop, because we don't have one of those over here. We have burgers, we have... Oh, I forget. We have food, we have drink, we have something else, but we don't have a merchandise store. So that is just a memento. At least that's what it's called now. Then it comes time to building a few more of these small gifts. No wonder this time lapse took so long. I was like, how did it end up taking so long? I forgot all the things I did. So yeah, get some of these smaller boxes in just to fill in the space, and I might do more of this as well. It's a nice space filler, and of course I want to get it around Santa Claus as well. Wish I could get some Coke bottles in here as well, or some polar bear sculptures. I was tempted to build a shelving unit and put an elephant on it, like a little elephant sculpture, because it's an elephant on a shelf. And those of you that don't have Elf on a Shelf is a really creepy elf doll that I guess the whole game is that every morning it gets put somewhere else, and whoever finds it wins something. I forget. I don't know what it is, but I only learned about Elf on a Shelf like last year. I was like, what is this? But yeah, Elf on a Shelf. I was thinking, let's do Elephant on a Shelf, but I don't know. Maybe the elephant breaks the immersion here. I don't know. Anyways, moving on, I start building the roofing. Now, the roofing I build using the geometric shapes, so it's kind of like plasticky looking. This was, again, it was a good suggestion given in the comments, and I was like, okay, you know what? I think it gives me a lot of flexibility, and you can see I'm using that to build this curved shape, and I really like how it looks. The butt, that sentence structure didn't give it away. There's a butt at the end of this. It is extremely stressful to build the more complicated roof parts, and you're going to see that in a moment's time as I struggled through that. And I think that's largely what caused my fatigue buildup as far as today's session is concerned. When you just kind of like clench your teeth and try to grit through something, and all you end up getting is a headache. That's kind of what happens over here. But I'm happy overall with how the roof looks. I like that it's got that sheen to it. It feels like I want to say like hard candy, or when like you get chocolate that's coated in like a hard shell, but like a colored hard shell. I'm trying to think of a brand name, but none comes to mind. That's what it feels like to me, and I like that. I like that it feels like a confectionery or like a candy or something. It goes nicely with the whole idea of this land of whimsy. But that whimsy and joy comes to an abrupt end as I try to build the roofing. This more complicated section over here. There's really not much to say other than what I need to do is I just need to spend some more time, sit down, and probably go piece by piece. I think what happened was at this stage I was like, all right, you know what, let's wrap this up, let's get this done. And I think subconsciously, because it wasn't conscious, it's never conscious, but I think subconsciously I was like, all right, cool, yeah, let's just do this, let's just do that. And all these shortcut methods were piling on and making it a lot harder to work with. Now, in some cases, like this, I really like how that bottom section looks. I think that looks amazing. But that top section in that same area looks terrible. And you can see over here as well, I'm kind of struggling. So I think all it needs is me to come back in with a fresh mind and go in sort of step by step, bit by bit, piece by piece, and build those shapes out. Because with a square of this size, again, excellent suggestion. With a square of this size, we really are able to go over the top, go real custom. It gives us a lot of iterations to build curves, right? Because that's the thing about building curves with squares is the smaller the square, the more detailed or the more round your curve looks. So with these small squares, we should be able to do a fair bit. Now here you can see I'm trying to build a bit of an opening so that the solar panel is still able to get some sun. Working with the mechanics of the game over here. And I do need to figure out as well, another thing I need to plan is where to put the chimney. Many of you asked for a chimney, so I'm going to try and figure out how we can get one in here. If we can't, I might need to not do it. I'm definitely going to try first, though. Not one to just say no to something like that. I think it's a good idea. I think it fits nicely. It'll be nice to have a chimney like we have with the tavern. The smoke coming out, a nice warm fireplace. I personally think it's a great idea. What I don't know is how to integrate it into what we've got going both on the floor and in the roof. So just gonna take a little bit of planning, but that's fine. Just gotta plan it. I think you can finally tell I'm getting a little tired of dealing with the roof over here. The frustrated deletes going on and the final revelation of like, oh, you know what? I realize what I need to do. I realize what I've done wrong. I've rushed this. I've rushed myself. And so this is right about when I decide that we're going to move on from this time lapse so that we can get a second time lapse, and one that has something that many of you have been asking for a very long time, something that may have been given away by the thumbnail, if not the title of this episode. But I'm excited to finally execute on that. I'm excited to execute on this finally as well. This has been sitting here for so long. It's nice to see it all come together. And you know what? It's feeling like a pretty impressive construct. It's not even in its incomplete state. It's feeling pretty impressive. I'm happy with it, at least. As always, though, if y'all have any more suggestions or thoughts or opinions, feel free to share. But folks, this is the end of this time lapse. We're going to go to regular speed for a moment and then hop into another time lapse. So I hope you enjoyed this one. But again, let me know down below. All right, folks, that's what we're calling that time lapse for now. Yes, this is still not complete, but I am going to put a pause on it over here. Very happy with how things are looking so far. Very close to complete as well, I would say. Well, that's maybe hyperbole. Getting close to completion, though. We've got those candy canes in there. We've got some of the lighting done. Still a lot of lighting to do. We've got all these like little gift boxes and stuff. If I could just slow down the camera. There we go. We've got these little gift boxes, which I think have turned out really nicely. Just with the variety and stuff. I could introduce a bit more variety, but I'm pretty happy with how this is all looking and feeling as you walk through it. We've got this spot for Santa to sit in as well when it's the right season and whatnot, with Big Brother watching you up top. Lots of gift boxes, like the smaller gift boxes here and there as well. Overall, very happy with how this is looking. Happy with how the candy canes are looking and all as well. I feel like it's kind of done the trick, done what I was looking for and what I was hoping for. So very happy with what we have completed. The struggle I'm having is the roof, and I knew this was going to be a struggle. Now overall, I'm really liking the direction we've got. Maybe a little heavy on the red side. I mean, maybe it would look nicer if we did like candy cane coloring. I don't know if that's the kit. That's not candy cane coloring. If we did like just to take a peek here. It certainly breaks it up. I don't know if I like it. I prefer, I think, the red, and then we'll add some snow and decorative elements up top to add lights and things like that, and that should make it pretty interesting up top over here. Also creating a little gap for the solar panel. Got to make sure that the solar panel is able to get light. Unfortunately, there's no better spot for it to be placed in without too much effort, adjusting paths and things like that. And I don't really want to do that and break stuff, so we'll figure that out. But overall, very happy with this. I think I'm actually going to make this into a giant skylight. I like that it's backlit like that, so I might find a way to like support the roofing and make this out of glass back over here and back over here, so that when you come through, there is like natural light in the summer. Just during the day, there's a lot of natural light, and then you can go talk to Santa and whatnot and see our domes and all that jazz, as it were. But yeah, still some work to do over here. However, I wanted to stop because, again, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but this is 2 hours of just working on one thing, and I'm feeling exhausted from it. But like I said at the beginning of this episode, there's a lot I want to get done today. I wanted to end this month's episodes on a bang. I saw many of you were commenting how like we spent so long on the bears, it's getting a little boring, etc., etc. And I try to stay cognizant of that. And as always, I try to take that feedback to heart and do what I can to improve on it as often as possible. And today I have the opportunity to work on this as much as we have, but unfortunately, despite getting tired of that, I'm still very excited to kick things off all the way over here. Now, I don't know how much we're going to be able to complete with this next time lapse that's coming up, but I would like to get started on the next enclosure over here. Now, no guarantees that the animal will be introduced and made happy and everything, because again, it takes so much effort to make sure the animals. You got to put the habitat gate, you got to get the right animals, all that stuff, which will take some time. I think I'll be able to pull it off, but it might result in a relatively short episode. Before I do that, one thing I want to address is a great point that was made in the comments is that the hard shelter over here might be better served if we put it over here. And the reason for that is why is this not snow? Are you not active? -8. You not active? -4. We should have snow here. Yeah, sounds like it's all been covered in snow. There's no sound effect when I try to brush in. You can tell I'm tired with how often I'm losing my train of thought. Give me a second here, folks. Gotta fix this. Lots of little things to fix, actually. Lots of tiny things to fix. I mean, I can go around and fix some of these tiny things. Like, for example, apparently the grizzly bears, I gave them tapir enrichment, but it's fine because they like rubbing pillars as well, so it's not the end of the world. I do need to... Oh, give them something else, though. Oh, wait. I give them... I thought I... What did I... What? Okay, well, let's go ahead and give the grizzlies something else as well. Let's give them a bobbin or something, maybe. Not up there. It's not grizzly territory. Up over here, perhaps. They've got feeding areas. Now, we get some good views over here anyway. Let's go ahead and put the bobbin enrichment down, maybe over here. That's surely going to go to 100% when we hit play. If we even hit play this session. If I'm completely honest, I don't know if that's going to happen. Apart from that, it was pointed out that I somehow missed my favorite animal. The tigers, I did not give any new enrichment to, and I feel terrible for it because, again, these guys are my favorite animals, so how did I overlook them? I think I know how. I think what happened was I was like, okay, party, don't get too stuck in on your tigers and forget something, and the exact opposite happened where I dealt with everything but my tigers. So, a little unfortunate, but hey, it's fine because we're making up for it right now. Let's go ahead and get you a scratching post. I really like the scratching post in the central location. I think it works wonderfully. And we could drop in a fire hose ball as well down over here. Okay, 50. What if I put in a second one? That doesn't help. We can drop a sprinkler in as well. There we go. That'll pump up to 100 as soon as we hit play. So again, lots of good views, lots of people actually watching from here, which is great to see. I'm excited for this. And it was also pointed out. I'm happy with this is what I meant. I'm satisfied with this is what I was going for. Over here, meanwhile, it was suggested that the elephants actually need, 80 out of 100 is not bad food enrichment. I guess I could give them something else as well. A hanging barrel feeder. Ooh, that's new. Could do that, and it was pointed out quite rightfully so that this is perhaps hurting us because they never provide negative enrichment. So it's not hurting us as much as it's just not helping us as much as it could. So I think we're fine. I mean, it'd be good to have this to be able to refresh it. Fine, let's get rid of it. We'll make it a seasonal thing, or, it comes around every once in a while. Oh my god. There's always time to be distracted by cuteness. There's always time. I was going to say, like, oh, I don't have time for this, but there's always time. All right, that's the elephants taken care of, the bears taken care of. I made a little mistake. Watch out, spiders incoming with the Goliath bird eater last session, where I misnamed Diego. Make stupid systems, win stupid prizes. M, male, M, mom. I should have done male, female, but instead I did mom, dad. You know what? Oops. Oops. One more thing is up over here. Some of y'all were suggesting that the Arctic facilities were not connected, which I'm pretty... Oh, yes. No. We're connected. No, we're not. Which one is this that's not connected? This is a research center. So, it doesn't really matter because... we're not doing that much research, but go ahead and get you connected. Unless you're going to be difficult like this, in which case... like, this really shouldn't be this difficult, you know what I mean? Really shouldn't be this difficult. Away you go. Away you go. Oops. Go ahead and fix this up. Get rid of all this nonsense. All of you, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, come on now, game. So you have to click where the center of mass is. All right, that's that done. Over here. Here are you. And let's move you in. There we go. And one of you needs to go. Lift you up. Select these guys and tuck them in. All of you, and just nudge you in like that. Beautiful. Done. All right, cool. Problem solved. What else have we got over here? So bear happiness, I had to check. Oh, there was mentioned that the tracks, train tracks behind Nom Nom don't have supports. They do not. You're right. Question becomes, see, I cannot edit the track unless I close the ride. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not naming these stations, by the way. The number, like, you lose the name when you close them and reopen them. And I don't want to have to rename them every single time. So there were some great name suggestions for the trains, but for the train stations rather. But unfortunately, the renaming dance is just not something I want to do. Something that I don't think is worth doing. One thing to mention over here as I go and put our baby panda, or our once baby panda, on contraceptives, who was it? It must have been you. Make sure we don't have any last minute accidents while we wait for these parents to pass away. Inktai, decent genetics, great genetics actually. Contraceptives for you temporarily. But yeah, something I keep doing is I keep looking at panda enrichment, so I end up seeing red panda enrichment as well as giant panda enrichment, and that's on me. I do need to get better at that. And one more thing, so many of you were pointing out how I need more benches, so during that time lapse I put down a bunch of benches. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that during the time lapse, but another thing I put down is this store over here, just a memento, literally because I got a name suggestion that I couldn't resist. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Saint, nickel, and dime. How am I supposed to say no to that? How am I supposed to say no to that? So say nickel and dime. And again, still work to do there, but folks, for now, let's go ahead and turn our attention over here. Now, in this region, we're going to get the Himalayan bear, and we're also going to get the snow leopard. Now, just as a reminder, I do have a Himalayan bear as a gift, as a reward for an old community event that I participated in. So great genes available. It's decent age. It's been in storage, so it'll be fine. We've had this since basically like the 10th episode or something. So looking forward to that. However, most of you have been very vocal about wanting to see the snow leopard. So let's go ahead and take a look at the snow leopard, which I kind of want to, I have an idea for, so I really want to check the snow leopards out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the snow leopards. Vulnerable, 705 meters square. We'll take a look at that now. They don't require climbing, but I imagine they enjoy climbing. Yeah, climbing proof, so they can climb. They don't require water, but obviously they'll have some for drinking. So 705 meters square. Okay. 1 to 2, so small group. All right. Relatively easy. 705. Now, how much space do... Who has the smallest space, do you think? Who has the smallest space here? These enclosures are big. Like, okay, the wolves, how much do they have now? That's, oh my god, that's almost 2,000? Okay, what about the tapirs? How much do these guys have? This is 922. All right. So I feel like... I want to take a look at water here. This water is being purified, yes. So I feel like what we can do is, if we extend this lake a little bit... No, you know what? This is not enough room for one animal. I might need to split it down the middle over here and extend this lake so it goes out a bit more. Do something like that. And then have the snow leopard on this side maybe, and have the Himalayan bear on this side. It's going to be quite the undertaking. Trying to get this done. Got to get the train station, I think, is going to be over here. We'll do that some other time, but I'm trying to think around it. Like if the stop is over here, people get out, they go around, there's got to be a loop over here. We could let people up from here. There's also got to be the gondola ride that I want to do from where from down over here, right? The gondola is going to take you over the trees, over the mountains, down to about here or something. Okay. Give me some path over here. Okay, cool. You know what? I think I've got enough of my thought process out and through. Hopefully we've left enough room over here. I might need to extend it a little bit. Might need to adjust the pathing and stuff and buy myself some more room over here. But we'll do that in the time lapse, folks. Yet again, it's time lapse time. All right, folks, there's a snow time like today to get the snow leopards in. I'm sorry, I cannot guarantee the quality of punnage in this mind state, but I'm super pumped, super excited, and super happy with the end result of this time lapse. And that's not me just amping myself up. I'm actually really happy with how this stuff works out. I was a little nervous going in because, yeah, I was feeling a little tired. I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted to execute this. Now, again, I'll be honest, we do not complete this habitat today. However, we put in the foundation and we get the snow leopards in, and that the level of completion we reached today has me really pumped for the next episode. With what we've got going. Anyway, so I decided to add some more mountains, and I wanted to get these snow caps going. Many of you suggested that way back when we first put the mountains down. Totally agree, it's a good idea, but I just wanted to make sure that I did it when we were working in this area to begin with. So I've got the coolers down, but I do need to get a power source nearby as well. We'll deal with that later. First things first, I am building a extended lake over here, being very cognizant of the shape I build it in. Even then, this is not a... If you really want it to be an inappropriate shape, this is also an inappropriate shape. Anyway, let's bar that. So, the plan is that that lake is going to be split between the Himalayan bear and the snow leopard, and you should be able to reach it with a gondola. So you can see over here, I'm kind of building this overpass, because that's where I want the gondola to reach. Bit of a change from what I was saying just before the time lapse, but I realized this would be a bit more appropriate. This is me just testing to make sure it'll work. I don't actually want to put it down right now. It will work. All right, cool. Moving on. So apart from that, I wanted to see where we could put our hill station down and how people would access the enclosure from there. So I wanted to put it up there, and ultimately that is where I'm going to commit to putting it down, I think. And then what I want to do is have this, like, trail, I guess, if you will. Like, you know, if you're the type that wants to go on a bit of a, not a trek, it's not a real hike or anything, but you want to do a bit, you don't mind a little bit of physical activity, then you might go from that spot to this higher spot. And I'm going to build this into a big sort of complex. I'm really excited for my plans here. I don't know what, visually, I don't have anything in mind right now, but from a conceptual standpoint, I'll touch more on that after the time lapse, so I'll leave that for later. But over here, as you can see, I am actually extending the habitat to have a bit of an outcropping up top there, which is why I built that tunnel. It also feels like you're walking through a tunnel under the mountains, so I felt like that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for the overall shape and theory, I guess, behind this area. So it's a very large space. I think it's more than they need, much more than they need. But there's some interesting terrain for them to play with. They like climbing, and you can see right now I'm looking at some references. I had some references in mind, but now that I was looking back at them, I was just like, you know what, I don't know if I like any of these. I don't know if any of these are possible to the extent that I want them to be, but okay, well, let's figure it out. So you'll see me kind of struggle a little bit here and there, but some things I knew I wanted, for example, was a staircase. And again, I didn't know if this was going to work. I didn't know if the animal was going to get up here. I don't know if our keeper was going to get up here, but it was worth putting it down, and then we can adjust it later. So if you've ever been to a monastery in the mountains, there's a lot of stairs. Now, I haven't been to one in Tibet. I haven't been to one in China. Never been to China, never been to Tibet. I have, however, been to temples in Japan. And I will tell you, if you're going to Kyoto, bring an extra pair of shoes because you will wear down your first. Honestly, so many stairs everywhere. And not just in Kyoto, but in other, you know, mountainside, hillside monasteries and things like that. I went to a few locations, a few, you know, like temple hotspots, religious hotspots, whatever you want to call it. Saw a lot of monasteries, and if there's one thing in common, it is giant giant statues of Buddha and lots of stairs. The former isn't really something you can do in this game, but the latter definitely is. So hence me knowing I wanted the stairs. And apart from that, I wanted to build like a bit of a parapet, if you will. Unfortunately, that parapet's not tall enough to prevent the animal from leaping over it, so we will have to make some adjustments and make a bit more of a blocking system. And again, if I'm honest, I think you'll see it as well. Some of these decisions I make are out of desperation. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm really happy with this. And then I look back at it and it's like, no, I only felt that way because I was tired and I didn't want to admit to myself that I was tired. So I will be coming back in and changing a decent bit of what I'm doing over here. I do like it overall, but you know, some of the edges aren't really as clean as I'd like them to be. And even though I want it to look like ruins of a monastery, it's not a presently active monastery. There's a line between, oh look, this looks like a ruins, and oh look, party was being lazy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be lazy. I don't like that. Not a moniker I aspire to. But here you can see I'm building what I think will be the hard shelter. It'd be neat to give them a reason to come up here, and this was my initial concept of hard shelter, so they can come up here when it's raining and things like that. But you can see I kind of decide that I don't like how it looks right now. Well, I build a little bit more. I'm jumping the gun over here, but I don't really like how it looks, and so I get rid of it, and I decide I'm going to deal with that later. We will deal with the hard shelter later. Alright folks, that's all the time-lapsing for today. Wasn't really feeling too satisfied with how our little monastery thing was looking, and I think it's just a matter of fatigue right now, and I'm going to be honest with myself and honest with all of you. I don't think now's the right time for me to take on a large construction project like that, because I want to do it justice, and I can feel that injustice, if you will, right now. But I'm glad that we put down the overall layout of this space. I'm really excited to see if they're actually able to use this space. We might need to move the barrier over a little bit. I might have given them a little bit too much space, but again, a lot of it isn't really accessible. I really want to see them roam around down over here. And, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to build bridges, aren't I? Yeah, so I'm going to have to build bridges. Okay, not the end of the world. Like, what I'd need to do is probably just realize this. If I get rid of the water real quick, let's see if we can't do this. If I build a little bridge out of land, increase the intensity a bit there. You do that, but then also dig a hole down here. There we go. I don't, you know what? That might be wide enough for someone to walk by. Let's lower you a little bit. There we go. There we go. Basically, I need to make sure that our keepers are able to get to the other side here. And it'd be pretty neat to see the animals kind of stop here as well. Does the water go through? No, it gets stuck over here. Okay, of course. So we gotta edit the barrier. Now we gotta make you into a null. Then I have to go back into my terrain, into my water. Gotta drop the water down. Water is looking like it's the right height, is it? Can't tell. Oh, I can't tell. It looks like it might be. You know what? Just to be safe, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit this barrier again. And, oops, turn you to a null again, and turn you into a null as well. Did I not just... Come on, game. Why? Okay. And now I can't do anything here. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic, come on. Can I move you over a little bit? Yes, I can. So now you're not exposed. You are just a little bit down here. Not exactly what I had in mind when I stopped the time lapse. Hopefully this is... I think this might be the right height. Maybe it is, and I'm just misremembering what I had earlier. All right, fair enough. I might go in afterwards and double check, but I think we should be fine. Let's go ahead and turn you into a glass barrier again. There we go. One-way glass barrier, sorry. So yeah, hopefully now our keeper should definitely be able to traverse that, and hopefully the animal will take a moment here as well. So what I'd like to do is I would really like to get the animal up over here to rest. So we'd put the bedding up over here. It's got to be the snow leopard. They like climbing, which is why I'm hoping they'll climb, you know, this area, maybe even get on top of the monastery ruins. Again, there's a lot I want to do, so I want to make sure I spend the time to do it right. But I want to get their bedding sort of over here, or even up over here. Would be pretty neat, I think, if they came out there to nap. Wouldn't mind moving this over here, actually, right underneath the little construction I was doing, without putting a hole in the mountain, please, preferably. There we go. And over here, maybe we do stuff like either build a climbing thing, which I think might be a little risky if I'm honest, or get like a scratching post, so that when you're, say, you know, down over here, if they're playing with a scratching post, you can see them up there playing. It's kind of like, oh wow, look at, you just barely catch a glimpse of it. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's one thing. I also want to get them down over here, and for that we might do some food enrichment. You just get one of these over here, and this is a nice kind of central spot for them to be in. They don't have to worry about people gawking at them because it's a one-way glass, but people will have a wonderful time, I think, seeing them from here. So if we go ahead and put down some donation bins over here, and I wonder what colors go nicely with a snow leopard. Like black and white, but black and white stripes immediately goes to like a zebra, right? So what if we do white and off-white? Go with kind of like, you know, mountaintop, snowy, that kind of a thing. I think that makes sense. Go and put some of you down over here. And let's get one down over here. I'm hoping for some interesting viewing opportunities over here as well, maybe. And let's put one down over here. And we'll do the education boards in a moment. The first other thing I want to consider is... okay, so you saw me place down the gondola momentarily to get an understanding of what we might do. So it's going to... The thinking is it's going to drop people off over here. And then from there, they can either go down to the China area, or they can move up to the, you know, Tibet, Himalayas area, whatever we want to call it. I feel like that works nicely in terms of a split. And then if you take the train to the hill station over here, I need to build some supports for these paths to make them more realistic. But I figure we'd have a couple of, you know, viewing outposts, but that's it. Then you loop back and take the train back to... you know, back to wherever you want to go. And I might actually build another monastery over here, like a nice big complex, basically, in the mountains. I don't know. It's what I'm thinking. It's a big undertaking. I need to look at some more references. That's one thing I definitely need to do. I need to take a look at my water here again, because so why would life be easy? Pop you, please and thank you. But yeah, so lots of reasons to just take a moment. But once in a while, it's nice to just take a moment and reconsider what we want to do, in my humble opinion. All right, cool. So that's all set. Right. The other thing that I need to do, this is going to be a bit more challenging. I wanted to put so water here is purified, right? Water is purified because of... No, water is not purified. Yeah, water cannot get up there. So, all right, here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and build a little path in here, staff-only path. Little mountain tunneling over here. Really don't like how the tunneling looks. That. There we go. Send you through this way. Get you like over there. Maybe all the way over there. Oh, I want animals poking through that. Sculpt this up a little bit. No, not a problem. And so with this little tunnel area where it's pitch black, we're going to go ahead and build a transformer and also going to get water filtration, and this will provide power to everything in the area, as well as obviously clean water. And it should be well out of the reach of our guests, so they should not have any issues with this either, hopefully. Exit the group, please. Let's go ahead and I gotta make sure I've got enough like mechanics and stuff working on these, obviously. Gotta make sure these are all on my work zones, but first I want to make sure that we are covered. So water, yep. Very well covered. Yeah, that's fine. And power. Ooh, you know what? I might actually have to go a little bit further. Well, actually, as long as it hits the habitat, we were fine, right? Unless I want an education board there. So we're not fine. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So let's get this generator, or this transformer, sorry. What, up to here, I guess I need to go? Up to there. Get full coverage. Okay. Go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and build our path after the fact so it can at least move towards it. Okay, can I... Frame modification failed. There we go. There we go. Cool. Like right into the ground there. Go ahead and pump you up a little bit. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we've got electricity all the way to here and water purification. Great. Or filtration, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. So that means I'm able to put down, hold on, before anything goes sideways. We'll do lighting eventually, but I want to put down a couple of different things. For one, I want to put down coolers up top over here. As you saw, I reduced the temperature or built snowy zones, so we should be able to see a little bit of snow. -5 sounds good to me. 6, -5, it's all good. I just made one first and then duplicated it. Ah, you're out of the reach of power. Guess I could go all the way over here. Fine, I guess I need to. Where's the other one? Gotta put another one down over here. Oh, guess not. Okay. Alright, Transformer. Let's get you even further in, I guess. It's my hubris that I'm paying for now. There. Oh, obstructed. Alright, obstructed by water volume, of course. Alright. The water's gonna get in the way, and I have to do something a bit more clever. I mean, I could put a solar panel down somewhere over here instead. The solar panel down over here should provide some coverage, I think, if I take a look at our facilities. Now, the wind turbine has a greater range, however, its negative impact, well, it's got one. So that's not something I want to impose. However, not a very big negative impact. It is a big coverage range. Oh, you know what? You know what? I know the easy solution. Easy solution is to edit this barrier and to pull these guys up, but technically this thing falls into our habitat and then it gets powered because of how the game works. There we go. Done. Okay, excellent. That should do the trick. And actually, you know what? I should pull you up a little bit as well. Like, say here, sure. Because then we can go ahead and duplicate this bad boy, put you down over here. Cool. That should do the trick. A lot more terraforming to do, obviously. As you can see, there's a couple of patches here that I haven't painted properly, but I want to do a couple of things. I want to see what our animals require in terms of terrain. I want to make adjustments based on that. But for now, last thing I want to do is I want to take a look at some facilities. Facilities, was it? No, blueprints, sorry. My blueprints, and go ahead and get some of those education boards down over here. These go away. Thank you. Put one down here. Put another one down here. We'll have to adjust the screens and stuff afterwards. Gotta put one down over here for sure. Yeah, I'd put one down over here, and let's go ahead and put one last one down over here. Cool. That's got great coverage. I think we have pretty good control over where people are going to see these animals from. So with that done, we need to go ahead and go to the zoo, go to staff, go to work zones, and we'll add these guys to, I know I said Called it. Oh no, East Asia entrance. Sure, sounds good to me. I was gonna say, like, I know I called it China entrance, but there we go. So we got you included. We got you included. Excellent. The habitat, of course, needs a name over here. So let's go ahead and figure out what our snow leopard habitat's going to be called. And let's go ahead and get some snow leopards. Wow, this episode. It's been, again, I'm just saying it because I like sharing. It's been, it's been 3 hours already. It's been over 3 hours. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a snow leopard. I need to make sure I can render this to go out on time tonight. So we're gonna have to call it soon. Turn off the pronghorn antelope. Now, who among you is best? Wow, these are some really poor stats. I mean, oh, infertile. It's not good. Oh, this isn't bad. Are these Mongolian names? I'm not sure. Naran Batar. That's like Ulaanbaatar, so that's why I'm like the closest relation I can think in my head. Now they're kind of old. 6.2 years is kind of old. Those are some good stats though. 3.8 years. Okay, so you're infertile. Why? 8.2 years. Okay, how long do they live for? Where's your Zoopedia? How long do you live for? Sterility is at 15 to 20 years. So they're halfway through their prime. You know what? I'm fine with halfway through their prime. That's not too old. I don't think, at least. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think it's fine. Oh, you just got added. Oh no, low fertility. What? Keep getting drawn to her. All right, so let's get you. We'll adopt you. And again, decent stats minus the fertility and immunity. Hopefully that doesn't bite us. The gold I was looking at is gone. So now we just need a male. Make sure we're looking at males only. Please. There is, of course, the option to wait. That's not bad. Oh man, I'm a little bummed that I missed out that on that gold one. Come on. What is with their fertilities and stuff? It's like low across the board. I can't even click anymore. All right, you know what? Let's stick with a female. I'm not gonna rush this. Oh, hello. All right, come on. Let me click. None of these guys are really good. Not being able to click doesn't help. All right, you know what? I'm gonna leave it for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our animals, or rather, let's go to the animal storage. We've got our snow leopard. Let's go ahead and move you first to the quarantine over here. Come on now. All right. Done. Let's go ahead and hit play for the first time this entire session, which is kind of ridiculous to think about. And a lot of notifications are going to start popping up. First, of course, the game's got to realize and understand all the pathing that's been laid out. It's got to go, all right, cool, I understand all this, but until I do, I'm going to stay stuck for a couple of seconds. It's fine. It's pretty complex stuff that it needs to calculate and figure out. Pathfinding is not a simple thing. And there's so many guests and stuff. Okay, this all, I imagine, is going to be fine. You guys, let's go ahead and say hello to. Let's get our conservation credits if possible. All right. If and where possible. And I know there's some animal trading I need to do and things like that, but I will save that for next session. Because for now, I want to get these snow leopards in. What's going on here? Incorrectly placed education board. Yes, I'm well aware of that. But the problem is that my snow leopard isn't in yet. Raoul has passed away. What are my challenges right now? Grizzly bear education rating has gone up. Guests, Spectrian camel released to the wild. Yeah, right. I already ranted about that last time. So a lot of these tortoises are about to mature. I thought our... I know we had them on contraceptives. Let's get rid of the contraceptives now, because we're about to remove some of these tortoises as soon as they mature. Incorrectly placed education. That's all this is. Okay, cool. Well, we'll fix that as soon as the snow leopards arrive, of course. It'll be very soon. Now, in terms of terrain requirements, I'm sure I'm way off. I mean, they're called snow leopards. We hardly have snow, right? So I'm sure that we're going to need a little bit more snow. What was their temperature requirement again? -4 to -22. Alright, so let's get that going for one. There's the maturing happening now. Put you over here. Here. Now they're going to start fighting right away, so I got to make sure I move these guys. Again, we're keeping our original braiding pair because I can't just abandon them like that. Right, they still have enough time. So Miguel, Pablo, Evita, Manuel, Esmeralda is too young. Okay, we still have a batch. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the trade center. And we will have the opportunity to trade them and get some conservation credits. I'm sure their genes are good. On average, our genes have been very fortunate with the genes on our tortoises was the word I was looking for. In fact, if we take a quick peek, take a quick gander here. Yeah, we should be able to make some decent money here. Oh, has Pedro finally been traded out? Or did we release him? I forget now. Nonetheless, let's keep an eye actually on animal trading. If we look at the market here real quick. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh, who's better? Yule, let's get you. 16 years. That was a mistake. This is what I get. Wish you could undo. It's okay, it's not the end of the world. I know it's weird for me to say that, but it's not the end of the world. Because we've got conservation credits for days. Move you to the quarantine over here. And our animal that's too old, we have to do something with. Because 16, they're 15 to 20 estimated, so 4 years left. That's not good enough for me. Oh, looks like our first snow leopard's arriving. But I do want to make sure that in storage... Yeah, I can't believe I cacked that up again. We can... Here, let's set you up for 750. I think that's roughly how much I got him for. Oh, I got him for 560. I overpriced him. Oops. If I can turn a profit, that would actually be kind of funny. All right, what's the deal here, buddy? What's the deal? How you feeling? Look at their tails. Always so interesting. Terrain's pretty good. Not enough snow, though. Not surprising there. Environment's pretty good, though we'll have to change some of these trees around. Enrichment is good. Overall, very happy with what they have already. You just got to make a couple of adjustments here, which not a problem. We can go ahead and add a little bit of snow over there. Add some more snow up over here. Get some snow over here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, already mating. These tortoises. They know what they want. It's each other. It's kind of romantic if you think about it. Add some more snow over here. How are we looking? There we go. I guess I can make this a lot more snowy. It would fit their habitat desires and requirements, right? I think it'd be nice. Imagine taking the train across over here and seeing the leopard. All right, now I want to see, actually, if you're able to... Yes, climb. You're also able to escape, which is less good. That's all stuff we can fix later. Looks like you're trying to make a break for it right now. Look at our habitat here real quick. Our barriers, rather. Let's go ahead and... Well, let's make you glass right away. Spread you guys like that. Easy fix that. I also have... Alright, lots of stuff going on. You, ready to move. Let's get you over here. Awesome, done. Let's get our education boards switching to the snow leopard 1 and 2. I promise I don't normally count this slowly when I'm counting. 3 and 4. And now for the speakers. We've got... Oh, come on. There we go. 1, let's check your range. Range is good. And 2, we know the range is good there. Over here, we've got number 3. That'll do the trick. And number 4, come on. No leopard for you. Up the volume a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Go ahead and hit play. Go to our zoo again. Take a look at our staff. And let's go ahead and, not staff, sorry, but our vet research. And let's go ahead and assign someone to something else. Polar bears completed. Perfect timing, because now we've got ourselves something new. Little Frank on the snow leopards. Where is our buddy over here? There he is. Or there she is, rather. And let me just check real quick. So if we look at the habitat, able to reach there. Still a little escape zone there. Okay, good to know. And this we'll have to sort out. Good to see they can climb. Good to see they can get up there, though. That stuff always excites me. When that stuff works out, that stuff always excites me. We'll be able to block this off, though. I need to do like a little bit of terrain adjustment and stuff like that. Be able to block it all off, really. Do something like that. Right, and then this, we can raise this a little bit. A little bit hard to get through. Cool. I mean, not actually cool. That looks hideous. Oh god. It's even worse, somehow. Chisel you down. Flatten the surface. Actually, you know what? Flatten the surface wasn't bad. It looks like a little outcropping. I don't mind that. Yeah, that's not bad. Cool. And we've received our male snow leopard as well. I feel kind of bad about how little snow there is over here. Doesn't seem right. It's right in the name, you know? Oh, look at him go. Oh god. Run away, girl. Run away. Okay, she's good. She's safe. Oh, he's making a break for it right away. Alright. Lots of work required here still, but folks, I definitely need to call it a session over here, because otherwise we're actually not even going to see this released. I need to... What was that jump? Did you see that? What was that? That was terrible. I think it was because I was far and the level of detail was kind of low. That's not how stairs work, but you know, you do you. Have a good time. Have a wonderful time. That's all that matters. I hope you guys had a wonderful time, because this is where we're going to call it a session, folks. What is this? Oh, you know what? I don't mind that. I don't mind that for a little thumbnail action. Look at that back foot. It's actually on... Oh, the front foot. Oh, okay, no, it's actually... It's clipping. It's not perfect. Okay, let's unpause for a second. Oh, no. Lost it. Trying to get a nice setup for a good thumbnail here. It's close. We're getting there. Sure. I feel like there's something to this. Or to this. There's something here. Anyways, folks, this is where we're going to call it a session. There's lots of work to do on the snow leopard habitat still. If you have any ideas or thoughts or name suggestions, as always, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. But this is where I bid you farewell, and where we bid the month farewell as well. A pretty successful one. We're at 1.4 million, 5.1k visitors. Feeling pretty good about everything. Folks, you had a good time? Leave a like and a comment down below. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. You keep us alive and running smoothly. And a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.